Hello and welcome back to Koru Kiwi Arts. I have a big surprise for you, and this is one of them. I have many paintings in which I've painted, and you're probably wondering, well Darren, that's really cool. Well, thank you. This is all from my imagination. There's a lot can be said about this painting. So I'm going to try and tell you all about it without making any mistakes or without the need of me editing the video. The Kiwi picnic is my interpretation, my illustration of the time that I remember having picnics with my grandmother and my mother. We'd walk along Devonport and we'd take a ferry in CBD, central Auckland, to Devonport, and then we'd spend all day at the beach having picnics. I don't know why we walked so far to this place, especially when there were other beaches so nearby, so close. So, but it was fun. It was really fun. I put some club sandwiches, English tea, and some chocolate cake. And yeah, and these Kiwi birds is what we have in New Zealand. They don't have feathers, these Kiwi birds. Well, they do, but they're very tiny, you just can't see them. But these Kiwi birds are my interpretation of a Kiwi bird. Now, back in the early 1900s, an illustrator represented New Zealand soldiers during World War I and II as a Kiwi. So since then, all soldiers were referred as Kiwis. So that name, Kiwi, has stuck through many years. So we call ourselves Kiwis because of that person who illustrated a Kiwi as a soldier and also as a rugby player. He drew a Kiwi bird playing against the Lions. So it would be a lion, a real lion, and a Kiwi bird, because Lions is from the UK, it's their rugby team, the Lions. But yeah, so we call ourselves Kiwis because of that. And now, all the birds that you see here are domesticated birds. These are the ones that were introduced into New Zealand. The only native bird here is the Kiwi. Now, these are introduced ducks. We have quite a variety of native ducks, but these ones aren't native. They were introduced, and so were the miners and the sparrows. They were introduced from the UK and all around the world for sentimental reasons, and black swans and white swans. And the pukeko is an Australian bird. In fact, all native birds from New Zealand came from Australia. Eventually they came from Australia thousands and thousands and thousands of years ago, and they all flew and were stuck on an island, or maybe the island separated from Australia and then the rest of it sunk into the water. I'll tell you a bit about that later. And all the birds got trapped and there was no way of flying back because the winds are going in the other direction. So there's lots of reasons why all these birds adapted to this little island and changed. A lot of them lost their ability to fly because there was no predators on the island of New Zealand at the time. There was no tigers and alligators or poisonous spiders or snakes. So there was no predators. So a lot of the birds, like the wren and the moa and the kiwi and the kakako and so on, they lost the ability to fly, so they just walk around. And the kiwi was one of them. But the kiwi has very strong legs, and they can run up to 40 kilometres in the forest. And they were developing bone marrow in their legs, because birds don't have bone marrow in their bones because it makes them heavy and they can't fly. So the kiwi was becoming a mammal, believe it or not. It was developing bone marrow in its legs. So enough said about that. So yeah, typical picnic. We have all sorts of different picnics. We have a barbecue picnic by the beach, sausages and Wattie's tomato sauce barbecues and lamb chops. And Pavlova. Pavlova was invented in New Zealand. They say it was invented in Australia. So there's a bit of a debate going on there. Who invented the Pavlova? But I reckon New Zealand did, because I found an old recipe book that was dating many years before that in a home located in New Zealand and had the Pavlova recipe written in it. So enough about that too. So yeah, so painting all this was a bit of an exercise because I did a sketch of it. My sketches are all lost because it was one of the sketches I put in my book, and I lost my book when I was in Bulgaria. And yeah, never mind. It's all drawn here and all painted. Here we have my interpretation of a canoe, a waka, with a Kiwi with his oars there. Because I'm part Maori as well. In my heritage, I'm actually Scottish and Maori. So I've got this Kiwi here as a Maori rowing this canoe through the lake here. And New Zealand has a lot of water. We have a lot of water. So yes, all these birds were introduced. Even the geese and all this. New Zealand has, let me think, over 200, we used to have 245 native species of birds in New Zealand. And when man arrived and settled in New Zealand, 45 birds, native birds, went extinct because of that. Like the moa. The moa is about 3 meters high. So I'm 2 meters. It's like a massive emu or a massive ostrich, but it's higher. Its head will be touching the ceiling up here. And yeah, so a lot of birds went extinct, at least 45 native birds. But 45 birds were introduced into New Zealand, and all many different types, hawks and yeah. So here we go. I'll do a close-up of it so you can get a good view of this painting. Yeah, it's nice. It's nice. I tried to balance it out because there's a lot of weight here in this corner here, and I quite like it because you've got this nice area, and then I try to throw some birds over here to balance it out, to make it look even. But I like it. It's a nice piece, and it really makes the room pop. If you see this painting for the first time up front without looking at through the camera, it gives more of a wow factor. When you take pictures of these sort of paintings, they don't seem to show you the whole aspect of it. It's like taking a picture of a mountain. When you stand by a mountain, you look at it, you go, wow, this is amazing. But when you take a picture of it, it just looks like rocks, you know, unless you stand right back, but it doesn't have the same impact. So this is a big painting. This is like 13 by 11 or 12. This is a big painting. This is my second painting. This was completed in 2022. It's an acrylic painting. It's done on a very nice canvas. It's got a lot of structural behind it. I've got a, I'm not sure if I'm going to varnish this. Maybe I should. But yeah. But thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys again next time. If you haven't done this already, please subscribe to our channel because you'll see more awesome paintings like this. rocks that are underneath the water, and I put a layer of paint over the top to represent water and try to make sure that this boat was floating on top. I think I succeeded in this part here. It looks really good. Also, the grass. Now, this grass took a long time to do. There's at least 9 different colours in this grass. I got my paintbrush. I didn't just go like that. Each one was an individual stroke of the paintbrush, like this, like that. A bit of paint, like that, a bit of paint, and I just kept going until I got to the end. And I did it again and again and again. In fact, I did 9 different colours. And because there were some parts I didn't like. See, it's quite dark here, and it's going to light. So I'm pretending there's light coming through here, landing on the grass here. So I like this dark area because it's under the tree, and it's sort of dark through here, so the light's coming through. So that's what I was trying to get. I didn't want it to be all the same colour. I was trying to get shading and all through here, and the edge was very difficult through here. I wasn't sure what to do here, but I decided to make the shadows on the water go in the opposite direction. I like it. I really do. There's a lot of work went into this grass, and especially the water as well. And these puffy clouds up here. We've got 3 layers of clouds. 1, 2, 3, and the ones in the background here.